A wave crashes against the front of the ship, spraying icy water across the deck. The longship, like a giant wooden snake, cuts through the rough North Sea. On board, men with eyes as cold as ice grip their axes, the wind blowing through their braided hair. These are Vikings, raiders from the north, and when they showed up, it usually meant one thing: trouble. Starting in the late 700s, the Vikings suddenly burst onto the world scene. Their longships, fast and easy to steer, let them attack with shocking speed. Monasteries full of treasure and with no defences were their favourite targets. The Vikings weren't just good at fighting. They were also clever traders and explorers. Their travels covered huge distances, connecting far-off parts of the world. From the icy waters of Scandinavia to the busy markets of Constantinople, their longships became floating shops. To the east, they travelled deep into Russia, using the big rivers like roads. There they traded furs, slaves and valuable metals, building trading posts that grew into big cities like Kiev. To the west, they sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, reaching Iceland, Greenland and even North America. The Vikings' success as traders came from their skill at sailing and their willingness to meet and deal with different people. Too many people in their homelands, political problems and the excitement of new places pushed the Vikings to create settlements far from where they came from. These brave explorers were driven by a combination of necessity and curiosity, seeking new lands to farm, trade and live in. Their voyages took them across vast oceans and into unknown territories. In the British Isles they started cities like Dublin, which became important centres for trade and culture. These settlements grew rapidly, becoming bustling hubs where goods, ideas and cultures were exchanged. The Vikings' influence in these areas was profound and long-lasting. You can still see their influence today in the names of places, the language, and even in the DNA of the people who live there. The legacy of the Vikings is woven into the very fabric of these regions, a testament to their lasting impact. In Iceland, they built a unique society ruled by laws and meetings. This society was remarkably advanced for its time, with a strong emphasis on governance and community. The Althing, their national assembly, is one of the oldest parliamentary institutions in the world. The Icelandic sagas give us a fascinating look into the lives and beliefs of these early settlers. These stories, passed down through generations, provide invaluable insights into their culture, values and daily life. The Vikings didn't always get along with other cultures, but it wasn't just a one-way street of them taking over. They engaged in both conflict and cooperation, often negotiating and trading with the local populations. They weren't just conquerors, they were also settlers, farmers and traders who learned the customs and traditions of the places they lived in. Their ability to adapt and integrate with different cultures was key to their success and longevity in these new lands. To really understand the Vikings, we have to look at their amazing art, which is a window into their world and beliefs, and exciting mythology. Their art, decorated with complicated patterns and intricate designs, tells us stories of their daily lives and spiritual beliefs. And fierce animal designs shows us what they believed and valued. Viking art was full of symbols and meaning, reflecting important ideas in their belief system. Animal designs, especially wolves, were common. Ravens, often seen as messengers of the gods, and snakes were everywhere, showing how connected they felt to nature. Their mythology, a complicated mix of gods, giants and scary creatures, reflected how they understood the universe. Odin, the All-Father, represented the Vikings' hopes and dreams, guiding them through life's challenges. While Thor, the god of thunder, represented their strength and bravery, these myths, told and retold for generations, taught them right from wrong and explained the mysteries of life and death, giving them a framework to understand their world. The Viking Age eventually came to an end because of changes in the weather, the spread of Christianity, and the evolving political landscape of medieval Europe. The growing power of the kingdoms they used to attack also played a significant role. By the 1100s, the big Viking raids had mostly stopped. Becoming Christians was a monumental change, and it clashed with the Vikings' traditional warrior spirit. Churches and monasteries, once easy targets, were now off-limits. The easy money from raids dried up, forcing Vikings to adapt. As they became part of the societies they conquered, their unique culture started to disappear. The once united Viking world broke apart into separate kingdoms, each with its own goals and ambitions. The end of the Viking Age was a slow and gradual change, with their legacy becoming an integral part of the societies they helped create. Their influence can still be seen in modern European culture, language, and traditions. The Vikings, once feared as ruthless raiders, have left a lasting mark that still fascinates us today. You can see their influence in place names, in our DNA, and in the stories of their myths and sagas. Their voyages connected different continents and cultures. Their craftsmanship, from jewelry to longships, shows their skill and cleverness. Their mythology still inspires artists, writers, and storytellers. The Vikings were much more than fierce warriors. They were explorers, traders, settlers, artists, and storytellers. Their story reminds us that history is a mix of violence, exploration, trade, and different cultures coming together. Like and subscribe Emgotvmedia for more stories.